Dad and I have started a challenge unlike no other. We are in a race to win 7 different trophies from the 11 selected leagues and 2 big European Cups. However, once one of us wins a trophy, the other is unable to claim it as part of their 7. And after Dad won the first 2 trophies in Austria, we were finally able to move clubs. Where Dad moved to Chelsea to begin with, while I took the trip to Feyenoord. Although a trophyless season later, he was then approached by Real Madrid. I turned down the chance to go to Zagreb and opted to stay with Feyenoord because I had a plan in place. And that plan paid off, and I won my first trophy in the Eredivisie, while Dad lifted the La Liga. Lucky for me though, the Zagreb job was once again available, meaning I could apply. Eventually getting the job and storming the league title, picking up my 2nd trophy. And Dad decided to stay at Real Madrid and lifted the Champions League. Meaning Dad is now 4-2 ahead in the race to 7 trophies, and we are both looking for jobs. And so that brings us to present day, where both of us are resigning from our jobs with the pursuit of the next in mind. I went ahead and, despite the bad finances there, applied for the job at Juventus that was free in Italy. Dad opted to stay away from Italy and wait things out, as I was waiting 26 days before I eventually was given an interview. Napoli, another Italian side looking for a manager, came offering me an interview as well, but I declined. Massive jobs including Real Madrid and Barcelona was still available, so Dad was hoping a manager from a big club would take those roles, with the perfect scenario being the Bayern Munich or PSG job becoming available for him to snatch up. Real Madrid decided to go with Zidane yet again, and he left a Rennes side which he was at, which wasn't much of an appealing job to Dad, and they had bad finances and an average side. Eventually though, I was called to become the Juventus manager, and I was happy to accept my new role. It finally happened though, as Mikel Arteta took the Barcelona job and left Arsenal free, meaning a perfect opportunity for Dad to return to London, and he arrived and applied. He was then chosen to become the new manager and inherited an almost untouched Arsenal team with some of their best players still here 8 seasons later, such as Bukayo Saka, Odegaard and Declan Rice. And while I was scrapping around Italy with no budget whatsoever to bring in any new players, Dad had yet again huge money to splash around and bring in multiple world-class talents to improve his shot at the Premier League. Dad, quite a lot of jobs came up. We've of course moved clubs. You've gone back to London.
Yes, I have. Back to the Premier League.
To Arsenal.
I looked at this job and 4 or 5 times I said to myself, no, I'm not taking it. No, I'm not taking it. It's all about winning trophies, mate. So my pride had dropped, and I've applied for the job, and fortunately, I got the job.
Yeah.
So, hence why I'm wearing this shirt.
Yeah. We always knew you were destined to be here, but there we go. So you made a couple of signings, obviously bringing in quite a lot of money as well. So
I think everybody knows what Arsenal need.
Yeah.
Should I say?
This is a long time in the future from that, but still.
With this team, I think they still needed it.
Yeah. Renato Luiz was a decent right back. She had a big budget as well. He had a massive budget. £400 million spent. Victor Gyökeres is another one.
Yes.
Very good player coming in.
Got to get someone to score the goals. You got Wimber scoring.
Fatakanti, though, was at Amadora, which did surprise me.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable. A really good midfielder.
It's a good buy, this was. Really good buy.
£46 million up to 49. But then Milos Kerkez, who was at Real Madrid, of course, after you signed him. Yeah. So that's two Real Madrid players that have come in. And then we've got Diamonde, who is one of your favourites to sign. He was at Bayern Munich.
I mean, now, you look at my defence now, it's so good, isn't it?
And then finally was Nelson Viper, another player that you previously signed, because you signed him to Chelsea for £73 million, and he's barely played since.
And that's what I couldn't believe. I mean, he is a good striker, so
he was loaned out last season.
Yeah.
Loaned out the last 2 seasons, in fact.
So I think I've just made him really stronger going forward, and also the defence are absolutely solid now, I feel. So
yeah.
And a good midfielder to be in there with Declan, I think.
Yeah, the likes of Ben White has left the club. Kivior has gone. Jean Mario, who was there, £22 million on this guy who's gone to Brentford. But yeah, you're rocking a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
We've got Martin Odegaard being locked into that position.
I'd have locked him in because he's such a good player in that position, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Yuan Yeri is still good, but yeah, he's a better player there. So if you're looking at first 11, it is going to be pretty much that. So Fatakanti and Rice in that midfield.
And none of my forwards have gone in there.
No, it's still, I mean, considering we are, season I can't even remember how many
9?
seasons. Yeah, season 9 this is.
Something like that, yeah.
The basis of this Arsenal team, still Havertz, Martinelli, Saka,
Lewis
Skelly still there. Rice, Timber is at centre back. He's only 30. Kajikawa is a guy that we are not familiar with. He is, of course, a new gen who actually played at Feyenoord. So, did I sign him? I can't remember. I've been on holiday. I can't remember whether I did or not. I think it was. I think I signed Kajikawa. So, a lot of players coming in. Obviously, Gyökeres is coming off the bench on this bit, but I very much doubt he would. Lewis Skelly actually starting as well. And you start the season really well.
Yep, definitely, yeah. I mean, you look at that starting 11, there wasn't many of my new players in that starting 11, but I was quite happy with that because the squad is so much stronger, and that goes to prove it. Winning these games, and comfortably, so I would say.
Yeah, beating Liverpool 2-1 as well. If we're looking at the Premier League, Manchester United were the current winners. They've won it 2 out of the last 3 seasons, but Arsenal were not in there last season, so in the top 3. They were there the season before. The last season, Arsenal actually finished in 6th place. So Manchester United won the league with 82. Manchester City was in behind with 81. Tottenham was in 3rd, but Arsenal down in 6th place. So you have started well this season, but it's whether you can hold out for the rest of it, because 6th best last season with 68 points.
Yeah, better work to do, but hopefully, I mean, that's why they sacked the manager, and that's why they've got me in.
Well, there was only a point between you and 4th.
Yeah.
Which was Liverpool, so that ain't too bad. The season preview does put you as second favourites, probably after the signings that was been made.
Yeah.
But with Manchester City as main favourites. Funny how they got Florian Wirtz there. Thomas Tuchel is there, so very good indeed. But over to Italy then, which we knew Dad was not really always going to favour. Rejected the Napoli job. Obviously that came up and I didn't really fancy that one. Instead, I've ended up at Juventus and with not a lot of budget, so I haven't done anything. There's nothing for me to do. I've no money whatsoever in the budget. Very bad finances. I'm going to have to just rock with what we've got. Now, we're going with a 4-2-3-1 narrow because there are some good players still at this side in the attacking midfield position. We've got Matteo Liberali, who is a young Italian player who's developed really well from AC Milan. Vignato, Samuel Vignato is not a bad player either, although he has picked up an injury there. He'll be out for a bit of a distance there. But Silva, Bernardo Silva's here, age 37, still at the club. Can still do it.
Good as well, yeah.
Coop Miners is also still here as well. He is obviously my best midfielder. He's age 33. Ravella is also there, age 29. What I will say, Vlahovic is still here too, 31. What I will say is this cannot be a very long project because the players are quite old.
Yeah.
Cavalli is considered one of my better players as well. He is a good right back. Cambiasso is my left back. Centre backs were Araujo and De Bast, and no massive Italian defenders here anymore, with Di Gregorio at the back. I don't really know about this team. I mean, Gatti's also there. He does look a lot better, to be fair. Maybe he should be playing a lot more, but I don't really want to lock in a player who's 33, and Locatelli as well. He is also in the so I've got good backups, but they're all the same standard.
Yeah.
There's no outstanding player in my team other than Coop Miners, to be honest. So I don't really know about this, to be honest.
I think you got 1, maybe 2 seasons at the most.
Yeah. Before these players are too old.
With this team, yeah. So you either got out for a good budget or you do something this season.
Yeah. I mean, I started well. 8-2 against Sassuolo, which was a great start for me. Obviously, Paolo Cavalli, the right back, got himself a hat-trick. No idea how. Genoa won 4-0 as well, and Lazio 3-1, so it's been a great start. I've got the Rats of Rennes in the Europa League, though. That's scummy. But that is all about, obviously, the Serie A with Inter Milan, who was the previous winner, with AC as runners-up and Roma 3rd. No Juve for a long time.
Yeah.
So almost 8 seasons since Juve actually won the league. Season preview does stick us as the 3rd favourite still. So I don't know. We were finishing in 7th place last season, which was a bad season, the reason why the manager was sacked to begin with. But can we do the unthinkable here and win the title back for the old lady? Interesting stuff as we
definitely,
go into season number 9 of the Race to 7. Dad has built an incredible team to not only turn Arsenal's misery around from 6th place, but to a challenging for the league title. Meanwhile, despite having no money at Juventus, I still fancied a shot at the Serie A myself. Dad's Arsenal team was rather impressive, and the side that he built showed that against the reigning champions, beating Manchester United both home and away, and blowing them out of the title race this season. Liverpool were in fact the main threat to Dad's side winning the title, and after beating them in the first part of the season, Dad then pinched a late equaliser in the home game as well. And after an incredible run on the final stretch of games, it was enough for Dad to clinch the league title with Arsenal by 7 points to add yet another trophy. In Italy, however, my biggest problem was Roma. I was trailing them by a point going into the final day of the season, so I needed to make sure I give us the ultimate chance, which I did by picking up a win against Udinese. And it wasn't until the 88th minute in Roma's game before our prayers were answered, because Torino, of all sides, equalised against Roma and helped their local rivals Juventus lift the Scudetto in the dying minutes of the season. I mean, you put the pressure on with that Premier League win, but on the final day of the season, which, I mean, look, again, zero budget for next year. 35% of transfer revenue.
Yeah.
I needed to win the league. I mean,
to be honest with you, I'm celebrating as well.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got to go to Italy, no.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And he's celebrating because obviously he won something with Arsenal, which is
I am
nice
celebrating. You haven't seen me celebrate, have you? Have you seen me celebrate
You just said I'm celebrating.
No, I said I'm celebrating because I haven't got to go to Italy.
You're celebrating me win.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, of course. Did you, when Arsenal won the league title, did you do the...
Yeah, I did. I was just...
Yeah. Just no
celebrating.
As if like you scored against your old club.
No jumping up.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure. Anyway, Roma well and truly threw it away through Ralph Hasenhüttl on that final day of the season. An 88th minute equaliser from George Ilinekena.
Love a late goal.
Yeah. Very happy with that. To pick up the win, I beat Udinese on the final day of the season comfortably as well. But Dusan Vlahovic got 36 goals, so absolutely creamed the Serie A, and the average rating was destroyed by me. I mean, there's the right back there. He's done very well. But yeah, I'm just over the moon to get that one done and dusted.
I must admit, I'm pleased you got a point on that one because I just did not want to go to Italy. So that's one. I'm well happy with that one. So yeah, definitely.
Semi-final Europa League, third round by Cremonense. It was not important to me whatsoever. But over to the Premier League, Dad. You have ticked off the Premier League. You've also won the FA Cup.
I've nearly done the treble. Like.
Yeah.
Got to the two finals.
In the Carabao Cup, beaten by Spurs on penalties.
No, I will celebrate. Getting!
FA Cup, beating Bournemouth in that final. So, yeah, the Premier League was a good one, obviously. Arsenal winning by 7 points.
Yeah.
Only losing 7 games with Liverpool finishing
Had a good side.
But Kyle Saka was the top scorer with 17. It's quite surprising how well you've managed to do there.
Yeah.
He was obviously the highest average rating as well. So, yeah. Good tide.
Good season.
26 goals. He was the top scorer of Kai Havertz, 24.
I mean, I had him, Kai Havertz, there being 24 goals. I didn't have to get a striker, did I?
No, Gyökeres got 15 in total. He only played 24 starts, 24 off the bench.
Nelson Weber got 15 goals when he started 7.
Viper,
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, 15 goals from 7 starts is great.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard's done all right as well. Martinelli with a decent season. But now, we leave. Now, what happens for season number 10? I mean, you've obviously got 5 trophies now.
Yes, this is where it gets interesting there.
Yeah.
The big countries are gone, really.
Yeah, we're both looking for a job at the same
big
time.
ones really is Germany and France, really, isn't it now? So
yeah.
Got to wait for something to come up, haven't we?
There's one place I will not be fighting you for, and that is Rennes in Ligue 1. But PSG are dominating that at the minute, as you can see. That is a silly job to go for at this point.
100%.
Yeah, I think the fact that we are 2 big clubs in Europe, and Inter and Chelsea, of course, who are now off the table for either of us because of those trophies being taken this season, that means managers will be moving.
Merry-go-round starts again.
And the merry-go-round starts.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
That's where all the excitement happens. let's see what happens. With both of us picking up trophies, I'm still trailing Dad by 2, and he is now just 2 trophies away from winning this whole challenge. And it isn't too long before a job that we both wanted to apply for appeared in Germany in Borussia Dortmund. Dad is the first to be approached for an interview, probably because of his successful history so far. However, I was also given an interview too soon after. So this then became the very short race of who is asked to be the Dortmund manager next. And unfortunately for me, it was Dad, the Champions League winning manager who was inevitably offered the job in Germany. My main hope is that Bayern Munich are too good for him to win the title there, as well as hoping that all of these massive international jobs are taken up by managers at clubs that I can jump into. But as Dad was once again given over £200 million to spend to improve this Dortmund team in the transfer market, I was left with no jobs available to apply for and stuck looking at the past without anything cropping up going into season number 10, remaining unemployed. Okay, so I'm still without a job. Still optimistic, although it is 5-3.
Yeah.
You've only got 2 trophies to go with you still in a job. So you are well and truly in the driving seat after getting the Dortmund job.
I'm really pleased. It's my favourite German side, so yeah, I'm really pleased with this. The one ground I'd love to go and watch a game of football.
Yeah.
Get into the yellow wall, definitely.
You start the season well.
And conceded a goal.
Only scored 1 goal each game, though. But the teams you beat Bayern Munich, who are the current champions with 10 men as well of the Bundesliga.
And
so
one of my signings scored the goal as well.
Yeah, they've won the last few. Well, actually, the last season. You won it the season before, finishing runners-up this season, just gone. But they've won it quite a lot recently. So you have picked up basically the best chance outside of Bayern Munich to win a trophy in Germany there. I'm not enjoying that one bit. And you had so much budget as well.
About 220 million.
Yeah. If I had signed, they would have gone, yes, 200, and then I'd have joined, and then they'd be like, minus 200 million, of course. But there we go. So you sold, that was actually you. You've got £279 million spent. João Gomez, you mentioned there, was your first signing.
Yeah.
He was the scorer.
Straight from the midfield up.
Yeah, he came in. Rafael Morales, 27 years, 27 million, 23-year-old Uruguayan centre-back.
The one thing I did notice that the 2 centre-backs were in their 30s, so I've just got a couple of players in just to sort of cover that. And they may not get in the first team, but they'll definitely cover any injuries.
Plan to stay for a long time, yeah?
Just making sure, mate, if they get injured halfway through the season, I've got a good replacement for them, haven't I?
All right. Uriel Hato from Liverpool, £82 million.
There's the other one.
You're also a good left back as well.
Yeah.
Eduardo Bove, £17 million for the Roma centre defence.
Strong midfield, yeah. So that's 2 good midfielders in as well.
And then finally, the goalkeeper.
Well, I looked at the keeper and I didn't think he was that good. So you can't.
And he's injured.
You got to have, and he was injured, yeah.
At the start of the season.
You've got to have a good keeper in. So I've got this guy in. So hopefully he'll do the business for me. Really, I'm quite pleased. And I'd have locked the striker, and I felt this guy was a better striker.
Yeah.
You know, you look at it and he is good. Only 24, so lock him in and see what he can do for me.
You come through the Reading Youth Academy there. You would be playing him in front of Maximiliano Bayer, who is good, to be fair. Very pacey. I quite like him.
I was a bit like whether to lock him in or no, just let him fight it out. So I've locked him in and see what happens.
Well, he does go into the lineup, obviously, in front. So it would be like that. Adeyemi is also still at the club. 30 years of age with 19 pace, so he's not bad. Speed demon to come off the bench. Your best player, though, is Angelo.
Yes.
He was very good.
This guy is
injured at the minute, but £100 million player. He is incredible.
He is good, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he is very good indeed. He is out for 4 to 8 weeks at the minute, though. Was injured in that first fixture, which means you have gone on to win without him anyway. His replacement would basically be Bayer, so he has been playing since. So it has worked out for you.
It's worked out quite well, yeah.
Yeah, your midfield, obviously, that you've brought in, but they already had Varela, who is obviously at Porto in real life. He is very good, 31 years of age now, experienced in there. The 2 centre-backs you mentioned were Van Heck and Schlotterbeck at this new club, so 2 players in their 30s. 2 very good defenders, though.
Yeah.
Your favourite right-back is at the club?
It is my favourite one, yes. Try and sign this guy every time I get a chance, yeah.
And then Mitaj, who is a left back that is quite good as well, actually.
Yeah, I've come across him before, so I do like the look of him, yeah.
Not too bad at all, but very good start at the start of the season. I really need a job, though. Nothing else came up, even with the amount of internationals that came up. Didn't chuck me anything. I really need, obviously, if we're looking at the leagues that we have left, it is the French league, so I need PSG, which very unlikely that's going to come up. Doesn't ever come up, and Pep Guardiola's there at the minute.
Sure.
So, not great.
No.
Portugal would be perfect, because I know how much you love Portugal.
I do, yeah.
If any of the big three come up, that would be spot on for me. That would be so good to be able to go to Portugal and potentially... I mean, I doubt if the job comes up, it probably means they are not in a good position. So it would have to be a 2-year job, thinking realistically. But if I'm given that second year, I could win the Portuguese league. Then that leaves Turkey and Belgium. And I fancy my chances more in Turkey and Belgium than what you do.
Yes, definitely. I don't know those teams very well.
Unless one falls on your lap.
Yeah, I mean... It happens, and I've been lucky so far, so just keep your fingers crossed to see if I can be lucky again.
And also, so far in this, you've had money everywhere you've gone.
Yeah, and I do play. I'm better when I've got a bit of money to spend tonight, so yeah.
You had Real Madrid, obviously Chelsea was the first season, but Real Madrid, Arsenal, now Dortmund with all that money.
200 million again, yeah.
So
just after what you've done with Juventus with nothing, just goes to prove what you can do with a very small budget as well.
Yeah.
So I've got to keep sort of hopefully a little bit of luck just goes my way.
Yeah, I mean
after Dortmund, really. I mean I've got to win this. I've got to win this league first, but I've been lucky to get there. They give me a lot of money. I've got a good side. I fancy my chances. My next one's going to be the lucky one again.
Yeah, that will put you 6-3 up.
Yeah, if I win the next year.
And you'd only need one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know it's going to get hard from then on, but I've still got to do it this season, yeah. And you ain't got a job. I could get a free season here if I win the league and you haven't got a team.
No.
Whoa.
Because I'm not. I tell you now, I ain't going anywhere of like any of these clubs, like clubs that are like mid-table relegation.
Just wasting time.
Yeah, it's just waste of time.
Yeah.
I need to wait for a big job. So.
Come on.
Let's pray one appears to me in season 10. As November began, Dad's Dortmund was still firing on all cylinders, unbeaten and top of the league. And I was still jobless, and nothing had appeared yet that was appealing, and the only hope was Sporting in Portugal, who are currently in 7th place. However, towards the end of the month, Club Brugge sacked their manager, and it was a great chance to take over one of Belgium's biggest sides, sat currently in 9th place. 2 weeks later, and they decided to reply with an interview. And I was then offered the job on the 8th of December, for which I accepted immediately. I would once again have to work with no money as the financial situation at the club was pretty bleak. They have some decent players, no one outstanding, so I built a strong defensive 4-2-3-1 around them, and it seemed to start off well as we won 3 of our first 4 games, including 2 in the league and 1 against Genk. That then shot us up to 5th place, but we are still some way off leaders Anderlecht, so it could be a task for next season to win the league. However, Dad's putting the pressure on, still ahead of Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga by 3 points. Other than a bit of a dodgy February, my new side was still picking up wins, and when the league then split and the points were halved, I was still 5 points behind Anderlecht in 4th place. Dad in the Bundesliga though found himself 7 points clear with 7 games remaining, and in the driving seat for another trophy. April came with some bad results for Dad and his Dortmund side though. My form was mixed with 2 losses and 4 wins however, and I was just 2 points behind new leaders Standard Liège, who I just battered 5-0. Bayern Munich though had reduced the 9-point gap down to just 2 with 3 games remaining. A loss to Anderlecht, and with 2 games remaining it was going down to the wire for me in Belgium. It was also not good news for Dad in Dortmund, who lost 3-2 away to Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, and despite winning the last 2 fixtures comfortably, needed Bayern Munich to drop points, and unfortunately that didn't happen, as they remained top of the league by 1 point and became Bundesliga champions again. Anderlecht drew 1-1 in the penultimate game of the season, but still remained top going into the final day, where I kept the dream alive in Belgium, beating Westerlo 2-0, and then in the last game defeating Standard 2-1. But I couldn't believe what was happening in Westerlo versus Anderlecht, because they crumbled once again on the final day of the season, allowing me to snatch the league title, dragging this side from what was 11th place to 4th before the split to become Belgian champions on the final day of the season. A final day of the season win again. From where I was with Club Brugge when I took them over, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I got to agree with you. You done really well. You just come in, took the team over, changed your tactics, didn't buy anybody, didn't change anything, just change your tactics, and you just slowly crept up the league, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, when I took them over, they were in 11th place. This is it. This exactly is where I took them over in the end of October there, and we just kept on climbing. And of course, going into the Championship group with Club Brugge, starting off in that 4th position or 2nd position, whenever it was. It got until the final day because it got a little bit risky towards the end there. I was losing every other game and including the cup final as well. So I lost 3 of the remaining 6 or 7 league games that I had. But at the same time, the run that we had going from when I took over was just really good. Just so strong. Lost to Rennes, annoyingly. But it just carried on going very well until, well, it was here, wasn't it, when I picked up the job, and then just carried on going really well. And I can't believe it, but it has given me such a big advantage. Such a big advantage. It's the first time, actually, as well, that they've won the league in a long time. All the way since the 23-24 season. Anderlecht have been dominating.
9 years.
I've come in, picked them up from nearly a relegation scrap, and won in the league. I'm buggering off. I'm going. Absolutely incredible season. Club Brugge fans must be like, oh, he's amazing. What am I saying? He's gone? What? But I'll be off. And Dad, you will be staying. You will be staying.
I think I was like 6 or 7 points clear.
Yeah.
At one stage during the mid-season. I don't know.
Oh, will you stay?
How did I lose that?
Well, your April was awful.
Oh, there it is, look.
Absolutely awful.
I lost to Arsenal, the team that I built before.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried about that because it was a Champions League, but it was the Wolfsburg game, Leipzig game, and then Solberg game. Yeah, that just cost me so badly.
Because you were beaten by Munich. You beat him here twice.
Twice there, look. Oh dear, how did I chuck that away?
Gifted them the title.
Yeah, did. And Bayern always come good at the end of the season, didn't they?
Yeah.
Always do. I've always noticed that when you play this game, you've got to be thereabouts at the end of the season and keep going. You slip up, they're right in.
Alex Brock's done quite well, 29 goals there. Angelo's a disappointing season. 10 and 8, considering how good he is. You've got £80 million should you decide to stay, but that is a big decision.
Yes, it definitely is. I mean, do I stay? I've got a good side there. I've got 80 million, which is a good budget. I could go some roads and have no budget and struggle, so something to think about. I mean, it really all depends what teams come up.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, obviously I will be leaving Belgium. I was also the runner-up of the Cup, as we mentioned. But is there any jobs available for me right now? And now this puts me in a great position because now I'm 5-4 behind Dad, chasing him with the opportunity to go to Portugal. Because Sporting and Porto, both there, or Frankfurt, I could go to Bundesliga and really screw things up.
It's your favourite side. We could beat our favourite sides in Germany.
But I think I would be silly with these two available. Now, Sporting finished in 4th place. Throughout the season, they were insecure.
Yeah.
And I did declare interest, and they weren't having any of it. But they never ended up actually sacking the manager till the end of the season because they finished in 4th place. Benfica are winning the league, but not by much. Only 6 points. Vitória and Amadora are closer, only 3 points behind. This is wide open. I'm looking at this as well, 100%. And the players at these clubs, I mean, Mateus Arezzo is at Sporting. He's fantastic. He's only 30. And Oscar Gluck is at Porto, who's only 29. So still really good. Still really good. They've got some cracking players in here. There's even a New Zealand international who looks unbelievable as well. Kovacevic is at Sporting, although he is looking quite old. Now, you can never trust it, but financially, it's not looking great at Sporting. And I hesitant to say that Porto is probably Porto's a little bit better, £24 million. But once I start evaluating the clubs, I don't know which direction I'll go down. But will you be joining me, or are you going to be staying?
It's so tempting just for both of us to go into Portugal. We're going to say, right, let's go for it, shall we?
You go for one of them. When you leave, I'll take the
top. That's a problem.
Well, what's happened? Anything can happen in the race to the Prem, so make sure you stick around. That's right. With a trip to Portugal on the horizon, I am just one trophy behind Dad now and putting the pressure on in the race to 7.